Seeing a grasshopper, a biblical perspective. When you come across a grasshopper, it might not just be a sign that summer is in full swing. Symbolically, in the Bible and within Christian contexts, grasshoppers take on a rather interesting role. Grasshoppers in the Bible. The most prominent mention of grasshoppers is in the book of Numbers, where they serve as a symbol of humility and insignificance. When Moses sends out spies to survey the land of Canaan, they report back with a sense of inferiority, comparing themselves to grasshoppers in the eyes of the giant inhabitants. Numbers 13:33. They say, "We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." This comparison is far from just visual. It carries the weight of feeling small, weak, or overwhelmed by the challenges ahead. There's another mention in Ecclesiastes 12:5, where grasshoppers are a metaphor for the fragility of old age. When people are afraid of heights and of dangers in the streets, when the almond tree blossoms and the grasshopper drags itself along and desire no longer is stirred. The images in Ecclesiastes paint a vivid picture of the seasons of life and the weariness that can come with age. Grasshoppers in Christian symbolism. In Christian symbolism, grasshoppers can represent numerous things depending on the context. Sometimes they are seen as a symbol of destruction, like in the locust plagues that are described in the book of Revelation, which can be seen as judgment or a cleansing force. Elsewhere, their ability to jump and reach seemingly impossible heights despite their small size can symbolize the ability to overcome obstacles through faith and trust in God. They remind believers that, no matter how insurmountable a problem may seem, with faith, nothing is impossible. We also shouldn't forget the role of John the Baptist, who notably subsisted on a diet of locusts and wild honey, Matthew 3:4. This lifestyle reflected his ascetic and devout dedication to God, offering another layer of symbolic interpretation, one that favors simplicity and reliance on God's provision, even if it's as simple as grasshoppers and wild honey. Living in Portland, Oregon, the sight of a grasshopper might not be incredibly common, but witnessing one can still prompt me to reflect on these deeper meanings. Sometimes the most unassuming things in nature can carry profound spiritual insights, if we're attentive enough to notice them. So, seeing a grasshopper might just be a nudge to consider one's place in the world, feelings of inadequacy, or a symbol of the feats we are capable of with a little bit of divine inspiration. In every glimpse of the natural world, there's a potential for symbolic meaning, and grasshoppers are no exception. Whether it prompts thoughts of humility, vulnerability, or faith, what matters most is what we take away from the encounter.